So as far as next generation cellular therapies, I think that there's a number that are very interesting. Obviously the allogeneic CAR T-cell therapies are of considerable interest. These are CAR T-cells that are derived from donors. So this would be an off-the-shelf product. The donors presumably don't have cancer. Their T-cells should be fairly healthy, and that's a potential advantage as well. And early clinical trials with off-the-shelf allogeneic CAR T-cell therapy look promising, with very respectable overall response rates, depth of response, and, I think relatively short follow-up, but those patients responding well do appear to have durable responses. I think it's going to be important to see how they do in the long run, because the autologous CAR T-cell products are still performing very well. So really the question is allogeneic CAR T-cell therapy better? Certainly from an access perspective, it's better, but from an efficacy perspective, is it at least equivalent? The other interesting area would be the natural killer cell, chimeric antigen receptor natural killer cells. So for example, there's a BCMA targeted NK cell product that's currently in clinical trials, and I think it'll be very interesting to see how that cellular therapy performs. In early days, it looks like the issues of cytokine release syndrome and ICANS seems to be reduced with that approach, but the question will be, is it as effective or close to as effective? And then there are other targets that are being developed in multiple myeloma in the CAR T-cell space. So the Memorial Sloan Kettering, Dana-Farber groups, recently published in the New England Journal of Medicine their experience with the GPRC5D directed CAR T-cell product with a response rate of approximately 75%, the majority of those responses being deep, and with appropriate expected side effects of cytokine release syndrome, but nothing alarming on that front. Bispecific CAR T-cell therapies, so for example CAR Ts that are targeted against both CD19 as well as BCMA, early data look very promising on that regard as well. So I think that the cellular therapy space is really in its infancy, and we're going to see a tremendous amount of progress in the years ahead.